Welcome back, friends. It is time for another unboxing. This is the September 2025 Malabrigo Quarterly Club Box through Jimmy Bean's Wools. And so, if you're unfamiliar with this particular box, it is a quarterly club, so we get shipments in March, June, September, and December. It retails for $64.95 plus shipping. It's usually charged on our credit card automatically somewhere between the 20th and the 25th of the shipping month. So my September box got charged somewhere between the 20th and the 25th of September, and then it ships out a few days later, and then I get it usually pretty quickly. This quarter, the inspiration for this particular box, it's been about world travel every quarter this year, and this month or this quarter, the inspiration was Scandinavia. And so this is their mood board for that. So obviously we're thinking cozy cabins, birch trees in the forest, warm candlelight. We're going into that fall, so very rustic. So I anticipated, based on the color palette in this, I expected something pretty neutral. I also anticipated, having been a subscriber to this box for a few years, and even when it was with Yarn Box before Jimmy Beans took it over, when Yarn Box went under, Malabrigo has always chosen a base that kind of corresponds with the season that we're in. So our yarn has been progressively getting thicker. And so I anticipated just that. So I was correct that the Scandinavian region, because it's known for rustic, really woolly wools, Malabrigo used their new yarn, the Cis Cabos. This is 6 plies. It is considered non-superwash worsted weight merino wool. It is supposed to have really great texture and strength to it because of those 6 plies. So it is going to be a good choice regardless of whether I wanted to order more yarn and make a garment, or if I want to make an accessory. So they dyed the colorway. It is exclusive to the subscription box. Normally we get 2 or more skeins of whatever the base is. And if it is usually an exclusive color just for subscribers. And this one is called Among the Fjords. And it is definitely this really gorgeous neutral. It is obviously like camels and tans. There's a little bit of gold in it, and it's almost like a charcoal gray running through there. So my skeins appear to be distinctly different. This was the base that was used in their knit along, which was the Barnstable shawl. This was the base that was promoted for that. I did participate in that, but I did not use this base. So I am kind of pleased that I got it in this month's box. So again, it's a non-superwash merino wool. It's considered light worsted. So this is not as thick as Malabrigo's traditional worsted weight. I almost think it's comparable to Rios in that regard, except of course Rios is superwash. So this is supposed to be non-superwash wool, 100% merino. There is approximately 220 yards in this 100-gram skein. They suggest a US 4 to 8 as or 3.5 to 5 millimeters for this particular yarn. So this is definitely a light worsted. I think it could technically even pass for some DK weight patterns out there because it's not very thick. So I'm really loving this. I do think they kind of nailed the color palette inspiration from the mood board. I'm actually excited with this colorway, though this is not a neutral that is in my normal wheelhouse of what I knit with. And my initial thought was that I would do the Barnstable, like find a contrasting color to work with this, but I've already done the Barnstable in my own yarn. So I think I'm going to look for a pattern for just this. I think I have an idea for what I want to knit with this. My friend Amy, who I've known a long time on the internet for years through different subscription boxes, and we've partnered. She's designed things for my business. She works over at Jimmy Beans and she does a lot of support surrounding this Malabrigo box. And she had a really lovely pattern idea, which was the Flame Fall. And this is a brand new pattern that just released this past month in September. And they do recommend this yarn as one of the bases. So it is a worsted weight pattern. It is 16 stitches and 22 rows for 4 inches. It uses a size 9 needle. It's a textured bandana cowl. And so I don't wear a lot of cowls, but I do like the bandana style of a cowl. And I'm pretty fond of the way that this one happens to lay. I'll show you a picture of the back of it. So it doesn't even look like there'll be a ton of fabric on the back of my neck, which I love. Here's a close-up of the stitch. So just a lot of texture. So I think this is going to be what I cast on, and I'm actually thinking that I'll probably cast on fairly soon. It says yardage is anywhere between 350 to 420 yards. It comes in 3 adult sizes, a small, a medium, and a large. So I have 440 yards, so I could technically make the large. So let's talk about the accessory that comes in the subscription box. So every month, not only do we get 2 or more skeins of yarn that is exclusively dyed for us on one of Malabrigo's beautiful bases, but we actually always get, this year, it's always a piece of a 4-piece travel set. And so this month is actually a beautiful piece. And I have this sneaking suspicion that this is going to be added to the Della lineup as a whole on Jimmy Bean's website. It just hasn't made its appearance yet. But we got this beautiful, now this one is holographic, this beautiful case. And so it does have a little clip so that I could clip it onto something. Inside, I have been told, and as you can see, you might be able to see, this is a little pouch, but it's also magnetic. So there was included a darning needle and some stitch markers. Now, I can get my finger through here. So the part of it being magnetic is a game changer, because obviously we wouldn't put loose stitch markers in here unless it was magnetic. It is flat, just like all the other pieces we've received thus far through this. I think this is a piece that I will actually get a fair amount of use out of because it's magnetic. If it wasn't magnetic on the inside, I'd be a little less enamored with it, but I am really liking this piece. All the pieces have been around this size, except for the first month it was a little bit bigger. But this is kind of a nice piece. And I love that it's holographic. And so I really think this is going to be added to Della Q's lineup of their maker bags. And so that's everything that was in the box this month. I'd love to hear, what would you make with 2 skeins of the Seis Cabos in this lovely neutral color? Would you buy another skein or 2 of a contrasting color and make some kind of shawl? Would you buy more? They usually offer us extras. Would you buy more and make like a sweater? Or would you just keep the 2 skeins and make some sort of accessory? I'd love to know. So tell me down in the description box. And for an emoji, if you're not in for comments, but I'd love to know that you made it to the end of the video. For an emoji, go ahead and give me a yarn ball. So until next time, friends, happy knitting.